Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. How much of your life is shaped by what other people think? How many dreams have you buried because someone rolled their eyes? How many times have you stayed silent when your heart screamed to speak? We live in a world where likes matter more than love, where people chase validation instead of passion. But here's the truth. You will never fully live until you stop caring what others think and start caring about how you feel. Every time you pause before making a decision, asking yourself, what will people think? You're handing over a little piece of your freedom. We grow up conditioned to seek praise, gold stars, likes, applause. And while some of that feels good, it quietly teaches us to measure our worth through other people's lenses. The problem is, when you live for approval, you're not actually living your life. You're performing in someone else's version of it. You start dressing how they expect, choosing careers they respect, hiding passions they don't understand, and shrinking dreams that seem too risky. You play it safe, not because you want to, but because you're scared of being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. And here's the catch. No matter how perfectly you play the part, someone will still criticize you. Someone will still not get it. There is no amount of bending, changing, or pleasing that will make everyone happy with you, because people project their own fears and insecurities onto others. What you wear, how you speak, what you believe, what you chase, none of it will ever be universally accepted. So you lose both ways. You sacrifice your authenticity, and you still don't get guaranteed approval. You become a watered-down version of yourself, and that's the ultimate tragedy. Not being disliked, but being unknown, even to yourself. True freedom doesn't come from fitting in. It comes from breaking out, from making peace with the fact that not everyone will understand your choices and being okay with that. It comes from living in alignment with your values, your voice, and your vision. Even if it's messy, even if it's loud, even if it makes people uncomfortable. Because the price of approval is your peace, and no applause is worth your authenticity. Think about the last time someone judged you. Maybe they gave you a weird look when you shared your idea. Maybe they laughed when you tried something new. Maybe they had something to say about your lifestyle, your appearance, your goals. At that moment, it might have stung. But where are those people now? Where is that moment of judgment? Gone, forgotten, meaningless. People's opinions are fleeting. They pass through your life like a gust of wind, loud, noticeable, sometimes cold, but temporary. The things people say about you don't stick to them. They stick to you if you let them. They move on with their lives while you're left holding on to the weight of what they might have thought, could have meant, or did say in passing. And what happens? You hesitate. You hold back. You say no when your soul screams yes. You avoid the risk, the leap, the dream, not because you're not capable, but because you're afraid someone might not approve. And then one day you wake up and realize you've built a life shaped by fear, not freedom. And that's where regret comes in. Regret is the slow, quiet ache of knowing you abandoned yourself, that you didn't speak up, didn't go for it, didn't take the chance when you had it. And the thing about regret is it lasts, it lingers, it whispers to you at night. It shows up in the what ifs and if onlys. While those people who once had opinions, they're not even thinking about you anymore. This is the danger, letting a 5-second opinion cause a lifelong regret. No one gets to live your life but you. No one else lies in your bed at night replaying the things you did. No one else feels that inner ache when you silence your voice or abandon your purpose. That burden is yours alone. So when you make choices, ask yourself, are you choosing to avoid discomfort now or avoid regret later? Because those opinions you're afraid of, they'll fade. But the regret of a life unlived, that one stays. In a world obsessed with fitting in, authenticity is the ultimate rebellion. We're constantly taught to blend, to soften our edges, to wear the mask that makes others comfortable. And for a while, that might feel safe, being accepted, being liked, being approved of. But here's the thing. Acceptance without authenticity is hollow. It feels good on the surface, but deep down, you know you're hiding. Authenticity, on the other hand, makes noise. It makes waves. It may not always be met with applause, but it always resonates. When you're truly yourself, you disrupt patterns, you challenge expectations, you stand out, not because you're trying to, but because truth naturally shines brighter than imitation. People might not always like it, but they feel it, they remember it, they trust it, even if they don't understand it. That's the power of being real. Your presence becomes a frequency, not just a face. But it's hard, right? Because being authentic means vulnerability. It means showing parts of yourself that aren't polished. It means saying, this is who I am, and risking rejection. But what's the alternative? Faking your way into rooms that don't even value you? Being accepted for a version of you that isn't real? That's not connection. That's performance. And performance is exhausting. When you choose authenticity, you might lose some people, but you'll find your people, the ones who connect with you, not your mask. You'll build relationships based on truth, not convenience. You'll attract opportunities that align with your real values, not the image you've been projecting to please others. Authenticity doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see you. There's a quiet strength in being able to say, I like who I am, even if others don't. That kind of inner peace is louder than any amount of external validation. In a room full of copies, the original always stands out. That's why authenticity speaks louder than acceptance. It doesn't beg to be liked. It simply is bold, unfiltered, unapologetic. And that presence, that truth, it echoes longer than any round of applause ever could. It doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle, quiet, a slow erosion of your soul. You start by making small choices that go against your gut. You say yes when you want to say no. You smile when you're really tired. You nod in agreement to things you don't believe in. You dress a little differently. You laugh at things that don't feel funny. You bite your tongue because it's not worth the argument. And with each moment like that, you give away a small part of yourself. Not dramatically, but gradually. You're not living your life. You're curating it for others, editing your truth for the comfort of people who may never fully see you. Before long, you start forgetting who you even were before all the performing. You look in the mirror and feel a strange emptiness, not because something's missing, but because so much has been covered up. When you live for others, you're constantly shape-shifting. You become a version of yourself that's based on what others expect, not who you really are, and it's exhausting. The worst part? Sometimes people don't even ask you to change. You just assume they'll judge you, so you censor yourself. You put them on pedestals they never asked for. And in doing so, you chain yourself to invisible rules and imagined standards that rob you of joy, creativity, spontaneity, and peace. Living for others might keep you liked, it might keep you accepted, but it will never make you feel alive. Because real life, the kind that wakes up your soul, is raw, real, and sometimes messy. It doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't wait for approval, it just is. And when you ignore that part of you, when you silence it long enough, it starts to feel like you're just going through the motions. You're breathing, but you're not really alive. Smiling, but not really happy. Achieving, but not fulfilled. That's what happens when you live for the world instead of living from within. People can only see what you show them. And if all you ever show is what you think they want, they will never know the real you. And maybe you'll forget too. Living for others might protect you from judgment, but it costs you your essence. And that's a price far too high to pay for a life that doesn't even feel like yours. Judgment is one of the most powerful invisible forces shaping our lives. It can steer our choices, suppress our voices, and keep us stuck in versions of ourselves we've long outgrown. But here's the truth most people don't say out loud. Most of the judgment we fear isn't even real. It's imagined. We spend so much time trying to predict how people will react to us. Will they think I'm weird, arrogant, cringe? We play entire conversations in our heads before we ever speak. We overthink our clothes, our posts, our passions, our personalities, trying to avoid that terrible feeling of being judged. But in doing that, we build a mental prison. Every wall is made of what ifs. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I'm not good enough? And the thing is, those thoughts don't protect us. They limit us. They shrink the world we allow ourselves to live in. We stop ourselves before anyone else even has the chance to. But something magical happens when you finally stop caring if you're misunderstood. When you stop flinching at every raised eyebrow or critical comment. When you realize that no matter what you do, people will always have opinions. And that's none of your business. That's when real freedom begins. Because the opposite of fear isn't fearlessness. It's self-trust. It's knowing that your value doesn't depend on how many people agree with you. It's choosing to live in alignment with what feels true, even if it's not popular. It's saying, I'd rather be real and disliked than fake and applauded. When you release the fear of judgment, everything changes. You create more, you speak louder, you take chances. You become magnetic, not because you're trying to impress, but because people are drawn to someone who's free. And sure, judgment might still come, but it won't own you anymore, because you'll finally understand that the world doesn't need another perfectly curated, overly filtered, approval-hungry version of you. It needs the real you, the bold, messy, passionate, unfiltered you. And that version, they don't ask for permission, they walk with freedom. Because their life is no longer a performance. In a society that often conflates confidence with arrogance, it's essential to draw a clear distinction between the two. Many people hesitate to express their confidence for fear of being labeled as egotistical or self-centered. They worry that if they shine too brightly, they might cast shadows on others or seem boastful. But true confidence is not about boasting. It's about being authentic, being self-assured, and being unapologetically you. At its core, confidence is about alignment. It's about knowing who you are, what you stand for, and embracing that identity without hesitation. When you are aligned with your truth, you don't need to seek validation from others. Your self-worth comes from within, allowing you to navigate the world with a sense of purpose and clarity. You carry your truth like armor. It shields you from the sting of judgment and criticism, because you know your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion. Arrogance, on the other hand, is often rooted in insecurity. It's a facade built to mask self-doubt. When someone feels the need to brag or belittle others to feel superior, it reveals a lack of true confidence. They seek external validation to fill a void, projecting an image of superiority to compensate for their inner uncertainty. This behavior stems from a fragile ego, constantly needing reassurance and admiration from those around them. When you align with your truth, confidence becomes a quiet strength. It's the kind of confidence that allows you to lift others up without feeling threatened. It enables you to celebrate someone else's success without feeling diminished. You can express your ideas, pursue your passions, and embrace your individuality while respecting others' journeys and paths. This type of confidence encourages collaboration, connection, and authenticity. It fosters an environment where people feel safe to express themselves and share their own truths without fear of judgment. When you operate from a place of genuine confidence, you inspire others to do the same. You create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to embrace their own identities and express themselves freely. Imagine a world where everyone felt free to be their true selves, where confidence was a shared trait, not a weapon wielded against others. In such a world, judgment would diminish and support would flourish. Everyone would feel empowered to pursue their passions and dreams, knowing that they are worthy of space and recognition. However, stepping into this confidence requires practice. It demands self-reflection and a commitment to inner work. It involves silencing the negative self-talk that feeds insecurity and reframing the narrative around what it means to be confident. It means recognizing that your worth is intrinsic, not contingent on external accolades or comparisons. When you commit to this journey of alignment, confidence becomes an integral part of your identity. You will find yourself more willing to take risks, to voice your ideas, and to stand firm in your beliefs. You'll be able to navigate challenges with grace and resilience, knowing that your confidence is not about being better than others, but simply about being the best version of yourself. In the end, true confidence is an invitation for others to rise to their own potential. It's a reflection of the belief that we can all shine without dimming anyone else's light. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's all too easy to get caught up in the chase for validation. From social media likes to professional accolades, we often find ourselves measuring our worth through the eyes of others. We condition ourselves to seek approval, believing that external validation is synonymous with success and happiness. But this mindset comes at a cost. It distracts us from our true desires and steals our joy. Chasing joy is a radical act of self-love. It's a commitment to prioritizing what genuinely makes us happy over what we think we should be doing. When you start to focus on joy, you create a life rooted in authenticity and fulfillment. This means listening to your own voice, pursuing passions that light you up, and creating moments that bring you happiness, even if they don't fit the mold of what society considers successful or acceptable. Too often, we associate our achievements with our worth. We think, if I land this job, get this promotion, or win this award, then I'll be happy. But when we tie our happiness to external outcomes, we place our well-being in the hands of circumstances we cannot control. The moment those achievements come and go, we're left feeling empty, as if we've lost sight of our true selves. Imagine waking up each day and choosing to pursue activities that bring you joy, irrespective of others' opinions. What if you prioritized your happiness by engaging in creative projects, spending time with loved ones, or exploring new interests? What if you made decisions based on what resonates with your spirit instead of what others expect of you? When you commit to chasing joy, you cultivate a sense of purpose that isn't reliant on approval or accolades. In pursuing joy, you also create a ripple effect. When you prioritize your happiness, you inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of possibility, showing those around you that it's okay to step outside societal norms and live fully. Your joy can motivate friends, family, and even strangers to break free from the chains of validation and embrace their true selves. You'll find that the more you cultivate your joy, the more you attract others who are on the same journey, creating a supportive community that celebrates authenticity. Additionally, chasing joy fosters resilience. When you face setbacks or challenges, the joy you've cultivated acts as a buffer against disappointment. It provides you with the strength to navigate life's ups and downs, reminding you that happiness is not solely derived from achievements, but from the journey itself. You learn to appreciate the small moments, the laughter shared with friends, the beauty of nature, and the thrill of pursuing your passions, regardless of the outcomes. As you embark on this journey of prioritizing joy over validation, it's important to practice self-compassion. There may be moments of doubt when you question your choices or feel the pull of societal expectations. In those times, remind yourself that your happiness is worth the effort. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you, and seek out experiences that resonate with your soul. Remember, joy is not a destination, it's a journey. It's about finding meaning and fulfillment in the everyday moments. By choosing to chase joy, you reclaim your power and live life on your own terms. You give yourself permission to shine brightly, unapologetically embracing your true self. And that is a life well lived. 2, often, we find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment to chase our dreams, express our true selves, or take that leap of faith. We tell ourselves that we'll start when we feel more ready, more confident, or more secure. But the truth is, there is rarely a perfect moment. Life is unpredictable, and the only moment guaranteed to us is now. Starting now means embracing the messiness of life. It means accepting that you don't have to have everything figured out to take that first step. It's okay if your path isn't clear or if you stumble along the way. The most significant growth often comes from the messiest experiences. Every failure, every misstep is an opportunity to learn and evolve. When you allow yourself to be imperfect, you open the door to genuine experiences that shape who you are. Being bold is about courage. Courage to be yourself, to voice your opinions, to pursue your passions despite fear. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone and embracing discomfort as a part of growth. The boldest people are not those who never feel fear. They are the ones who feel it and choose to act anyway. They understand that the greatest rewards often come from taking risks and challenging the status quo. Being real is about authenticity. It's about showing up as your true self, flaws and all. In a world that often pressures us to conform, being real takes bravery. It means expressing your thoughts and feelings honestly, sharing your experiences openly, and allowing others to see the person behind the mask. When you choose to be real, you create deeper connections with others. You invite vulnerability, which fosters trust and understanding. Imagine the power of a life lived boldly, messily, and authentically. You inspire others to break free from their constraints, to live fully, and to embrace their truths. You create a community where everyone feels safe to be themselves, where individuality is celebrated rather than suppressed. The time to start is now. Don't wait for the right moment. Create it. Choose to step into your power and embrace the adventure of living fully. Every small step counts, whether it's speaking your truth in a meeting, pursuing a passion project, or simply allowing yourself to be imperfect. Each act of courage builds momentum. So be bold in your choices, be messy in your process, and be real in your expression. This is not just living, it's thriving. And remember, life is too precious to wait for permission or validation. It's yours to shape, and the world is waiting for your unique light to shine. As we wrap up this journey through the themes of stop caring, start living, let's take a moment to reflect on the core message that ties everything together. You hold the power to shape your life. The moment you decide to prioritize your own happiness over the approval of others, you step into a realm of possibilities that can transform your existence. You are not defined by the opinions of others. You are defined by your actions, your choices, and your willingness to embrace who you truly are. You are worthy of living a life that ignites your passions, fulfills your dreams, and allows you to express your authentic self. Remember that life is too short to live in the shadows of others' expectations. Every day is a new opportunity to step into your truth, pursue your passions, and create the reality you desire. Don't wait for the world to give you permission, grant it to yourself. Embrace the messiness of your journey, allow yourself to make mistakes, learn, and grow. Each experience, whether it feels like a success or a failure, adds to the richness of your story. It shapes you, molds you, and ultimately leads you closer to the life you envision. Be bold in your pursuits. Let go of the fear that holds you back and take that leap into the unknown. You may stumble, but you will also discover strengths you never knew you had. The world is full of possibilities waiting for you to explore. And above all, be real. Share your voice, your ideas, and your passions with the world. Your authenticity is your superpower. It has the ability to inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of courage and truth. As you leave here today, I challenge you to reflect on one thing you can do right now to embrace your authenticity. Whether it's pursuing a new passion, expressing your thoughts openly, or simply choosing to be yourself in every situation, take that first step. Stop caring what others think and start living for yourself. The world needs your light, your voice, and your unique perspective. So go out there and live boldly, messily, and authentically. That is how you truly thrive. Thank you.